on land when it comes to pressure situations. Like a squad like Allegiance, I would say, is nearly equivalent in skill to Evil Geniuses. So the fact that they beat them fairly handily and also had situations where they were, down for a little bit. They had the game, the grasp of their hands, started to lose it, but were able to recoup and come back. It says a lot for such a young roster.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. And as we see the series layout on the screen as well, I want to touch on something that you just said there. Old head on young shoulders is the expression that we always hear. But the composure they showed in the series against Allegiance was really impressive. But, looking at the series layout, we've got Fathom CTF to start it off. And it's going to be interesting, this series, because obviously EG are going to be coming on probably onto this main stage a little bit more cold than the guys on the Inconceivable lineup. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can take advantage of that and maybe get off to a quick start in the CTF game. Yeah, that's the big point. I'm wondering for, of course, best of fives. Remember that. It is best of five, continue to be a best of five in this championship bracket until the final. And I feel like, again, that first game can really lay out the momentum in this series. So we'll have to see how these guys come out and play to set themselves up for a good series. But before we get into this match, I'm excited to get into it. The first match of the championship bracket, Evil Geniuses versus Inconceivable. Evil Geniuses, the seeded team. Inconceivable, what a storyline behind this team, making a huge run through the open bracket. A lot of people considering them a strong favorite in the overall tournament. Gentlemen, it is time for predictions. Give me a series score. Who do you got in this best of five?
Well, I'll tell you what, this is tough.
This is just as tough as predicting the Inconceivable and Allegiance matchup. But, man, my heart wants to say Evil Geniuses, kind of going with the veterans, going with former teammates, and, good friends with Lunch and Roy. But it is tough. I mean, Inconceivable, the fact that they were able to beat Allegiance in that fashion, a really good squad. They're playing good today. There's no question about that. I'm going to go against my heart, and I'm going to say 3-1 Inconceivable.
Wow, interesting. For me, I see this, if they get off to a good start, this is the thing. If EG get off to a strong start, I can see them taking this series. It might go to a game 5. So I'm going to say a 3-2 to EG, just so it gives them a little bit of time to sort of get into the series and get comfortable. But I can't discredit your prediction either, because the way that Shotzi and everyone was playing earlier on today is they didn't care they were out of LAN environment. They were playing exactly the same as they were at home. So I'm going to say 3-2 Evil Genius just for that sort of experience factor, but it's going to be one hell of a series.
Remember, it is double elimination, so even the losing team will not necessarily be out of the tournament. That's going to be very important as this tournament proceeds along. But we're about to get started here with the championship bracket here at the Halo World Championships. But another quick reminder about a certain thing we're giving away. It's the Xbox One S. Right about now would be an excellent time to get on Twitter. Use the hashtag HaloWC and tweet the stream, twitch.tv/Halo. I saw Walshy do it a little bit earlier. I don't know if he's eligible to win it. If he wins it, I'll make sure.
That says in the
I'll make sure you don't get it, Walshy. I'll make sure to get that from Walshy if he decides to do that. I don't think so, Walshy. It's not. You're not eligible because we're on the analyst desk. But you are eligible if you're watching. Again, you can tweet the stream, twitch.tv/Halo, and feature the hashtag HaloWC to win that Xbox One S. That being said, I think it's about time to get into the first match of this championship bracket. It is Evil Geniuses versus Inconceivable. Evil Geniuses is your seeded team. Inconceivable coming through the open bracket. All the storylines are there. Let's see how it unfolds. With the commentary is going to be T-Squared and Ghost. Take it away, guys.
Thanks, guys. Yes, it is time to get the championship bracket underway. Oh, yeah. Ayami, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. It's been a while since I got to, just hang out with you.
Yeah,
and now
right?
we get to cast together. It's a first.
I know. It's so exciting. It's going to be a blast. And what a better match. Evil Geniuses taking on Inconceivable. You got Boo Boo Doo Boo, Falcated, Shooter, and Shotzi taking on Devin, Contra, Roy, and Lunch. What do you think of this new Evil Geniuses lineup?
I think that this is going to be the big test. We know that we've seen some struggles online. We've also seen them have some successes. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to this LAN play, we've never really seen them have that perfect mesh yet, right? So I think that this is a big test for them. We saw Boo Boo Doo Boo and his team take down Allegiance 3-1, a commanding win, even though there were some close games in that series. I'm not going to take anything away from Allegiance, but hey, Inconceivable's here to play, man.
Yeah, for sure. And what's odd about this Devin and Contra, Lunch Roy lineup is that Devin and Contra, to me, are polar opposites of Lunch and Roy in terms of communication. So when you have two quiet guys that listen to call-outs, and then you have 2 loud guys who bark call-outs out. I wonder if that pays off for them. It seems like it could be a good recipe for success, but at the same time, you don't know if there are kind of miscommunications or not because maybe Contra and Devin aren't calling out nearly as much. But this is a great learning opportunity for both of these players
100%.
because to me, this is the one major piece of their game that's missing. In order for them to, yeah, they're great. They're top players. They're definitely top 32 individual players. They're in the pro league for a reason, but to take it to that next level, to win, to be in that next tier, that's what they need to do.
Oh, 100%. And not to mention, right, you talk about that communication aspect. We know when watching teams like INV or Optic that these guys have great leadership, great micromanagement. Doesn't matter who it is on the team, right? Even Hook, the young gun, steps up at certain times and calls out orders, says where to go, says where to use teamwork and all that kind of stuff. So I'm curious to see if Contra or Devin does step up in that role. I mean, we are in a LAN environment. These guys are veterans in Halo 5. They've done some great work before. So curious to see if they kind of step it up here.
I also think that these game types are good for Evil Geniuses. Looking at CTF Fathom, TS Truth, Eden, Stronghold, CTF Coliseum, and then Plaza TS. I know that Evil Genius is a very strong Truth team, so I think that having that in game number 2 is great for them because even if they go down in this Fathom CTF, they have something that they can fall back on, which is one of their strongest game types following that up. And then Coliseum CTF seems to be another really good game type for them as well, even Plaza Slayer. So I feel like this is the best possible draw here for EG. Again, if they can win this game, win this match against Inconceivable, that's going to be fantastic for them. But I'm worried. I'm worried for EG, just like I'm worried for Straight Rippin', really, because they have that match, that tough match against Straight has Allegiance. These guys have Inconceivable. This could be bad for them. This could be very detrimental. It could be, you know, the worst case scenario for a Saturday. You
100%.
play your 1 or 2 matches and you lose your first one. That would not be the way you want to start your tournament.
Not at all. And I think that the dynamic I'm looking for on this first map, this Capture the Flag Fathom map, this match is Contra and I think Boo Boo Dubu. I think that both of those guys do a great job of controlling top mid. They grab the railgun, they grab the camo, they control it through and through. And so I expect to see those guys kind of duke it out, and then really the rest of the teams fall into place. We've seen some good flag runs in the past. I know that Shooter's pretty good at running the flag. I know that Lunchbox has been a savant ever since Halo 3 with running the flag. So I just got to give a shout out to those guys. The objective work does come into play on Fathom Capture the Flag.
Sure does. And one of the things that Evil Geniuses has done so well for so long is turtle inside of their base and play the numbers game, and you got to watch out for that. That last guy alive, whether it's a Lunchbox or anybody on the Evil Geniuses team, just sitting back in the engine area, waiting for you to run that flag, and then immediately they pop out and just stop what you're doing. So that's something that EG does so well that you got to watch out for. But again, you have this, you know, crazy team of young players. Is that play style going to throw these guys off? Is it going to be too much aggression? Are they going to challenge things that Evil Genius isn't expecting to challenging them and catching them off guard? So Evil Geniuses, they're going to have to be playing at the top of their game if they want to win this series.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, not only that, but it looks like we have a floor update, on the floor update right now on the featured station. Game 5 is taking place between Real Fear and Team Randa. So TS on Truth is the game type, as we just talked about that one earlier, and it is tied 8-8. We will keep you updated with more news from that station, but right now we are still waiting to get this main stage match underway. Shotzi, Shooter, Falcated, Boo Boo Dubu, Roy, Lunchbox, Contra, Devin. These guys are all ready to go, and we actually are going to start it off with Observer mode. Kicking it off, I think we're going to go... Who
find out right now who we're going to go with once this game gets underway. Let's go with a little bit of Boo Boo Dubu point of view right off the get-go. Looks like he's going to grab the battle rifle and make his way on over towards the silo area. And I like this flank. Look at that. Finding 2 players, no shields in front of the base. Very easy cleanup. Looking for the triple kill. There it is. The overkill is behind him on the silo. He's not going to find it, but Roy coming off the spawn, going to try to get over towards the treehouse. What a fantastic start for Boo Boo Dubu, but unfortunately for the rest of the Inconceivable squad, no one in there to push into the base.
And already, right, Roy, you saw him spawn, and rather than just pushing over to his treehouse and just making some sort of, like, you know, crazy play, he camped in that back little closet, right? Just like you were talking about. These guys are so good at staying alive, especially when they're down in numbers.
Using the radar to his advantage. Nice positioning there from Roy. Gets the beat down and immediately pushing in towards the flag. Doesn't realize that a player did spawn over towards the engine. Let's see if that player on the engine is aware. He is. That's Boo Boo Dubu taking Roy down to no shields. Is he going to be able to get the kill, though? No. Yeah, there it is. Boo Boo Dubu finally taking out Roy. Nice job by Roy. That flag is sitting in front of the base, and that's still alive. Nice bottom center pull coming out, but it looks like everybody has dropped. Devin and Contra are going to die. That leaves Lunchbox as the last guy sitting over towards that red bridge, and Boo Boo Doo, this guy is on fire. How many kills does he have already? 7 kills, almost as much as all of Evil Geniuses combined.
I mean, the guy is putting in work. You saw that angle. He just took that fadeaway jumper from Kobe and just hit that final pistol shot top mid. Great job by him, as now him and his team are pushing over here into this elbow side. They're blocking the spawns while also cleaning up some kills. Another perfect kill to lock that killing spree as he pushes into this engine room.
Yeah, look at Boo Boo Doo laying down so much damage, but 2 of his teammates somehow dying. They didn't realize that the 2 players were over there going over towards that red treehouse. So Boo Boo Doo is going to need a little bit of help. Let's hop on board with one of his teammates, the duo Shooter, and see what's going on through his eyes.
And Shooter's just doing a little bit of a defensive play right now. He knows that there's some guys top mid that he needs to take care of. And being Fathom capture the flag, it's definitely first priority. So he's pushing up and seeing if he can get something to happen.
Yeah, kind of crazy shots there. Ends up getting the assist, though, either way. That's going to be 3 dead. Railgun did pop. I think that they were able to get that on the Inconceivable side. So now it's Shooter's job to sit there and watch the spawns. He ends up throwing a grenade that could have eventually choked the spawns, and it did. Multiple players popping up over towards the elbow. So Shooter has to be aware that they're going to come and charge Boo Boo Doo over there. Ended up getting that camo, though, so that's going to prove pretty useful for them. But this is the thing Evil Geniuses, again, they do this so well where they're just constantly playing defense. Let's see if these guys from Inconceivable can break the defense.
I mean, they're logging some great kills right here on Inconceivable, but it's just not enough. I mean, they're not getting the push. We've seen Shooter with camo now. It's winding down. He's about, I think, 20 seconds left as it comes down, but he's trying to make some plays, stay alive in some weird sneaky spots, but gets cleaned up eventually, and not the best play with camo.
Yeah, again, that's just the solid defense coming in from Evil Geniuses, and I'm not a big fan of the camo guy being the furthest pressed up person on the map. I feel like it's nice to come in second or third if that's the case, but what a prediction aid coming in from Lunchbox onto Boo Boo Doo. Boo Boo Doo has to back off over towards his bond now, making his way over towards the garage door. Looks like he's going to elect to flank instead of going right up towards the treehouse, and looks like this what his strategy was in the beginning of the game, where he got that triple kill earlier, but no one to be found here for Evil Geniuses. Falcade picks up a kill from Lunchbox. Roy playing a little bit of defense, but someone else is going to have to fill that top center area now. Coming in for Inconceivable because Boo Boo Doo pushed up so far. Where is the help?
I mean, it's clearly far and far away. Shooter coming around with the light rifle. Obviously, he's just off spawn, so he wasn't able to help Boo Boo. But it looks like Shooter's trying to choke these silo spawns. He has a light rifle. He's putting in some good, or trying to put down some good cover fire, while the rest of his team maintains control of top mid. But once again, Tom, I mean, your prediction at the beginning of this game, talking about that Evil Geniuses defense, it is coming to life. I mean, these guys are doing so good at just defending. I don't know if they're ever going to get in the enemy's base with how they're playing right now, but we've seen them kind of rush over. They can turn the tide, especially if Contra and Devin really get in their base and start causing mayhem.
Yeah, this is a good opportunity here where they have multiple players down, but Shooter being out of ammo is actually a pretty big deal. Now he has to give up his positioning and not able to help one of his teammates, and there it is. That's a very big death, and unfortunate for Shooter that he ended up running out of that ammo. And look at that, EG again, sitting in that engine area, playing defense. And one of the frustrating things, Eric, is once you are Evil Geniuses and you're playing this defense, it gets frustrating for Inconceivable because of the fact that once they do, break your setup and get into their base, they most likely will get a cap because they've been playing it safe the entire time and aren't going to risk any random flag pulls. So this has just been a great job by Evil Geniuses hanging in there, even though when you watch this from Inconceivable's point of view, they've had map control for a majority of the game.
Yeah, but it's just almost like EG is making them play their game, right? It looks like now it's at the point where Inconceivable's kind of unsure of how aggressive they should be. Do we push in as a unit? Do we try and get the railgun and the camo first? We saw Boo Boo pick up the camo, tried to make some plays right there around the 7:30 mark, but unfortunately got cleaned up top mid by Devinator. So it just looks like it's a little bit shaky for Inconceivable. They haven't made too many plays.
Taking a look at what's going on with Shotzi, the Prodigy, the young god, over here trying to make his way over towards top center. And that's not going to work out because 2 players from Evil Geniuses are going to be there. So looks like we do have an update on the floor. Looks like Team Randa was able to take down the Demon D squad of Real Fear. And they were going to be moving on to the championship bracket. So nice job by them. That was game 5. Truth, yes, we will get the score for you guys in a little bit. But from what I see, it looks like 50 to 44 there. And again, Team Randa going to be moving on to the championship bracket. I'm not sure who they're going to be playing, but Nice job by Demon D making a pretty good stand, I'd say.
Oh, yeah.
Nice
100%.
little comeback after that break.
Very big deal. But we have the railgun coming up right now at the 6-minute mark. It looks like Contra, the guy, is waiting to pick it up, and he is saved by Devinator, but unfortunately gets cleaned up regardless. Devinator hitting a perfect kill out of his porch, but now Falcated getting a solid kill.
Yeah, everyone kind of dropping left and right here, trying to battle for the position of the railgun and the position for the camo. Everyone that pushes over towards top center has died. Maybe Falcated can change the tides here. Look at that. Shotzzy picking up a double kill, getting the protector medal, saving his boy Falcated so Falcated can get the camo. And that's what you need, Eric. If you have Evil Geniuses playing the radar and playing defense, you're going to need a railgun. You're going to need a camouflage to infiltrate the base.
And they're doing a good job, right? They're waiting for these power-ups to come up. Booba got the camo before this one, and now Falcated is ready, waiting for the next one. And so now it looks like Inconceivable, right, run it the standard elbow way, which means that obviously EG is going to spawn up these silo spawns, and they're going to be able to push out into the Inconceivable base, and now they grab the flag.
Look at this. Looks like Evil Geniuses has countered what's going on the other side of the map, but I love that the guys from Inconceivable have kind of situationally changed what their strategy is. Any other team that they're playing against, they most likely would have pulled that into the pit. They would have pulled the flag even a little bit quicker. But again, Evil Geniuses is in their head a little bit and making them play differently than they normally would.
Lunchbox, does he get the return? That was a huge return right there, and it looks like now, I believe it's Devin running the flag, but Contra and Devin duo are pushing on this guy. They have some phenomenal teamwork. We all know that they've been working together for, I mean, it's about a year now, right? I mean, these guys are really damn good with their teamwork. And here they have it. There you go, Tom. EG getting the first flag cap.
You could just tell by the way that the game was being played that Inconceivable couldn't figure out what the defensive strategy for Evil Geniuses was, and then they second-guessed themselves when they should have just continued to run that flag as fast as possible. I get that Lunchbox was up towards the bridge, laying grenades on those guys, but you can't afford when you have camo and you have railgun to allow Evil Geniuses to get into your base for free and counter cap. That's just unacceptable.
And I have to call out the fact that Evil Geniuses is playing their game again, and we've seen it for the last, 2-3 years, where they are the team that slows everything down, right? And when Roy and Lunchbox stepped into Halo 5, people were concerned. They were going to say, well, does this playstyle work in Halo 5? Everyone moves extremely fast, but sure enough, it's paying off in this game.
Sure is. Booba putting in some serious work with this railgun. Here it is. Camo railgun flag being returned here. This should be a flag capture plus control coming out from Inconceivable. Finally, 9 minutes later, they're able to get their first flag cap after about 4 pulls there, Eric.
I swear, this guy is always getting the camo, always getting the railgun. We haven't seen Contra really do the same just yet, but gets spotted. The eagle eyes.
Contra.
Oh, there it is. His counter.
Nice job by Contra there. Even nice job by Shooter getting that 2-shot beatdown onto Roy. But either way, that was a very nice counter cap coming in for me. Inconceivable. Nice shots there from Shooter. Good help by Falcated, because they could have easily just gave EG the momentum. EG would have rode that all the way to a Game 1 win, in my opinion, but Booba said no, and everyone else stepping up on the map and getting the objective done. So we'll see what happens now with this game being tied. You can throw out all the rest of the previous 9-10 minutes here, and you're going to see a bloodbath and constant control for the treehouse at the top center.
Yep, and you look, it's just a lot of defensive battles going on, folks. It's a lot of 1v1s. We've seen some cohesive pushes, some solid pushes around the silo areas and top mid, but again, it's a lot of defense, man. It's been a little bit weird seeing it like that too.
Yeah, here it is. Lunchbox over here with the light rifle sitting in red treehouse, making his way over towards top center. You can see in the player outlines multiple players for Inconceivable sitting up there. That's not an angle that you want to fight and a distance that you want to fight against a battle rifle. So smart play by Lunchbox backing off over here, switching to his assault rifle, using the radar to his advantage, and getting a pretty decent trade there with Falcade. But you do have Shotzzy over here and Shooter with the railgun. I think Shotzzy may also have a weapon as well. He had the railgun, ended up dropping. So 2 railguns were on the map for Inconceivable.
Oh my goodness, and that just did not connect for whatever reason. Shooter lives to see another day, as now we have Contra just edging again. They're playing defense. This EG roster they just have really tight D. It's amazing how, like, I have never watched a team really kind of make this game of Fathom Capture the Flag unfold. Not sure if it's the flag placement or what, but it just seems like they have a really good understanding of how to stop these choke points.
They do, and teaming with Roy and Lunch in the past, that was one of the big things that they always hammered home was the numbers game and playing defense on CTF games, and you can see that nothing's really changed from Halo game to Halo game here. It's still their basic strategy. But Devin needs to get Shotzi out of top center. As you can see, Shotzi crouching around over there. This is a big 1v1. Shotzi with the perfect shots with the battle rifle. Let's hop on board with him. Every time I feel like we're switching to his screen, he's trying to make his way over towards top center, doing the top center jumps. That's going to be 2 dead plus good positioning here for Inconceivable. 50 seconds left. If they do not capture the flag, this will go to overtime.
Oh my God!
Nice shots again by Shotzi. They're inside the Evil Geniuses base, working together here with Boo Boo Doo Boo. Reinforcements are coming from the other side of the map, but no, too early. With that pull, needed to play that one a little bit slower.
And again, it's super weird for me to watch this, right? Because they're grabbing the flag, and then they run it out the window, so that means the guys behind them are going to spawn elbow, they get sandwiched. So it just looks like there's some really unfortunate flag pushes, and again, there's no spawns being blocked on either end of the spectrum. So they both need to kind of work together with their teammates and make something happen, because there's not enough cohesion that's getting these flags across the map.
Yeah, and a lot of that times it has to do with the 1 or 2 people for Evil Geniuses that stays alive. And that's because they're so good with the communication that as soon as they don't have numbers, they call it out. Hey, you guys need to stay alive over there, and it makes Inconceivable question where they are and kind of overextend and get scared to run the flag. So that's what you're seeing right now as we make our way over towards overtime. 2 players dead on the side of Inconceivable. Evil Geniuses trying to make their way over towards top center. Lunchbox is in the middle getting pinched. Contra coming in with the flank. He's in a really good spot. Even aware that they're spawning elbow. The entire team is aware of where the spawns are. Lunchbox ends up smartly backing off, but now you have split spawns over towards that silo. 1 player over towards the treehouse, another person over towards Red Bridge, and that's just not going to happen. Nice job by Inconceivable, spreading out when they needed to.
Oh yeah, and that was extremely clutch, right? Inconceivable stopping that flag. It is overtime. It's not sudden death per se, but 2 flag caps to win, and 1 could be the difference when this time ends. So big deal for Inconceivable stepping up on D.
Fathom CTF is so difficult to capture in because it's so easy to get that counter pull and sometimes even the counter, and you know, more times than not you find yourself in a standoff, especially when you're playing against a team that really understands the strategy here. So there's another opportunity. That's 2 dead. Let's see if they can get that 3rd player down. Devin laying down some serious damage. That buys enough time for Contra to come in and get the cleanup. I don't think that they're going to be able to get this flag out if you're Inconceivable. As you can see, everybody flying in. But yeah, that is a really nice nade. And nice shots by Shooter. Taking down Lunchbox. Is that the winning battle there? We're about to find out. As you can see, Devin now overextending. Roy overextending. Everyone dying now because of that fight. That was 1 there, and Lunchbox losing that one. Let's see if the flag is going to be able to go in. I'm going to switch on over here to Shotzi. He's the guy that's pulling this one. He's already got it. It looks like this one's going in, and wow, what a big loss there by Lunchbox. He needed to win that 1v1.
Yeah, I mean, that is the turning point. If there's anything else that we've seen, it looks like these teams are evenly matched, right? It was 1-1 for about 13 minutes, 14 minutes, and for Lunchbox to lose the 1v1 that he needed to win, it's going to spell almost certain disaster for his squad.
And I believe that was Shooter that won that 1v1. I could be mistaken.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Either way, not only did he win that 1v1, but he distracted everybody by staying alive in the garage, had Roy overextend with their grenades. Devin had to charge out and sprint as well. And just that little play right there could end up giving them advantage in the series here. 35 seconds left. Keep in mind, guys, that flag has to be in right when that number at the bottom right is hitting 0. You can't just get the flag and get extended time. So desperation going to set in for Evil Geniuses anytime, but that's a big whiff.
And yeah, I mean, right now it looks tough. I mean, Inconceivable is seemingly just playing defense. They're not trying to push out, and it could hurt them there. The flag is out now, so EG could make a run. We're going to see if someone can grab it. I mean, the time is ticking down. It's 12 seconds left in the game. They need to do something.
Yeah, time is really on their side, though, so I think that this is the right play, especially because they have grenades. There goes the return. There goes game number 1 of the champ bracket, going over to Inconceivable over Evil Geniuses.
Huge, huge win. Commanding finish right there.
What a game. That was fantastic there coming out. And we do have 50-44. My eyes are pretty darn good to see that from about 35 feet away.
Oh, yeah, Team Randa defeating Real Fear, and that means that Team Randa actually does secure a top 8 spot in that bracket. Pretty big deal in that open bracket. So that being said, let's kick it back over to the stats, and we're looking at capture the flag on Fathom. On obviously this last game, 2-1 in favor of Inconceivable. Tom, what are you looking at here on these stats?
I'm looking at a lot of assists coming out from Shooter, who, again, even though he went 13 and 19, 25 assists, but also the amazing play over towards that garage door.
Yep.
And even though he may not drop the biggest stats, even though he may not be the most praised player in all of Halo 5, he does the dirty work. He comes up with the big plays, the clutch moments to win the games and to win the series. Obviously, Shotzi, positive 10, Boo Boo Doo Boo, positive 13 there. Obviously, starting the game off with a triple kill. He's the force to be reckoned with. If you're Evil Geniuses, looking at the other side of the spectrum, you have Lunchbox there, 18 and 26, but most importantly, losing that huge 1v1.
Yep, and I think there's two stories to tell here, right? When looking at the stats, we saw that Evil Geniuses got outslayed to no end. Not one player on their team went positive. So that definitely is tough. But at the same time, that doesn't necessarily mean that they can't slay. It looked like a lot of
that doesn't mean they're going to lose the next Slayer
Yeah,
game.
correct. It looked like a lot of the power weapons, the camos, were going over to the Inconceivable roster. Not sure if Towie is just not on top of it. I don't want to say that because he's normally the guy, that is always on top of it.
A lot of the times, that it's just you're not in position.
Yep.
And you could call out when the weapons and the power-ups are coming as much as you want, but if you're not in the good spots, if you're not in the good positions, if you're not getting the kills, if you're getting outslayed, it's just not going to happen for you. But, I feel like Evil Geniuses, they did what they had to do, or at least what they thought they had to do to win that game. They got the first cap. They were up 1-0 with about, 4 or 5 minutes left, I feel like. And then all they had to do was continue to execute the defensive strategy that they had. They let that first cap get by. Lunchbox loses that 1v1. Boom, game's over.
I mean, and with that 1v1, Tom, we not only saw him, maybe miss some shots or eventually just, maybe hit some body shots. Not sure exactly what happened there, but it looked like because of that death, you were saying, okay, Roy's overextending, right? And the next guy's overextending. I'm curious what happened with the communication there because knowing Lunchbox in some intense, right, in some intense situations, we've all seen him scream one shot. And when you hear someone as calm and cool-headed as Lunchbox can be day to day, hearing him call out those one shots, it seems like it's so stressed and that maybe a player on EG overextended to that.
Well, it's really important to, I'm sure he was, rotate your death screen and find out just exactly where that guy was hiding. I mean, Roy sat there, chucked the grenades in a spot where he thought he was. The grenades weren't good enough. Devin flew in, thought he had to get the return. All they had to do was not do that right there, and they would have been fine. They literally
you make it so easy, Tom.
They could have just went to the other base, though. I mean, how often? That's how they got their first cap. They just came around.
We saw it.
Inconceivable. They had camo. They had railgun. All Evil Geniuses did was flood into the enemy elbow, get the counter pull, run to the other side of the map. That's the same mentality that they had to. I think that they panicked.
It is weird,
it could have been the communication.
And I think it definitely is because when you look at that, like you said, that previous play, they were so composed. I mean, the Inconceivable roster was rotating all around the enemy treehouse, right? They had the flag pushing in, and then all of a sudden we see all those enemy outlines, right, through in that elbow of their own. So it was scary to see Evil Geniuses being able to rotate to that degree, and then a couple minutes later, just give it all up. Very weird.
I wouldn't be too concerned, though, because as we discussed, they did what they thought they had to do to win. They almost did it. I thought that they were going to lose that game anyway, but now we move into game number 2, which is Slayer on Truth, and this is their map. This is what they have to do to win this series. It starts here with Slayer Truth. They need to reset this series and make it a best of 3.
Yeah, and I think that this is a great time to do it. We all know that Truth is a map that is a successor of, I guess, numerous maps. We had Midship come out in Halo 2, and then obviously Heretic come out in Halo 3. We had an Forger make Onyx in Halo 4, and then obviously we came out with Truth as a spiritual successor to those maps. So when you're talking about Roy and Lunch, these guys have been playing on a version of Midship, since 2004. So to have about 12, maybe a little over 12 years under your belt on a map, I'd say that it definitely helps out when you're going up against some of these new guys, right? You're looking at Shotzi and Falcated. How many years do they have on these maps?
Yeah, they have it engraved. It's like the back of their hand. It's like the palm of their hand. It should be, just easy for these guys to understand exactly what they need to do here. And I'm looking at Lunchbox and Roy after that, a little bit of miscommunication going on towards the garage to step it up big here. Like you said, they've been playing since, I think, 2005 is when they first started playing Halo. They bursted kind of on the scene in around 2006, 2007 era. So these guys have the experience. This is big. Obviously, Halo World Championships, when you look at last year, Lunchbox and Roy, they just got done winning the X Games not too long before the previous Halo World Championships. Now they're in a situation where they're going up against, yeah, you can call them an AM team, but they're not necessarily an AM team. They're going against a team that somehow, you know, in the scrims online is performing even better than them. So for Evil Geniuses, this is their time to shine right here. On land, they have the game types necessary for them to do it. This is their game. This is their time to shine right now.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see who's going to be the Slayer in this match. We all know that Contra and Devin and even Roy, right, they possess extreme individual skill. And Shotzi as well, a great sniper. Obviously, there's not a sniper on this map, but we've seen Boo Boo Doo make some incredible plays with camouflage, which does spawn on this map, obviously in the pink 1 area. So we're going to see who controls that, and then also who controls those long-range rifles. And we are going to start it off. I say, who do you want to start it off with, Tom?
It doesn't really matter to me, Eric, but you know, I'm looking at the body language from both of the teams. Inconceivable sitting there all smiles. Obviously, they just won. Evil Geniuses, they got their serious faces on. They realize how important this game is, but looks like we're going to start this one off with the man that we started off in the previous game. Why not? He got a triple kill to start. It's Boo Boo Doo Boo, and look at this strategy. 3 people flying out towards the pink side. Boo Boo Doo Boo doing a nice little thrust over towards P3. 2 players went over towards the top car for Evil Geniuses, making only 2 players to go over towards the camo side, but it seems to work out for them, Eric.
Yep, and camo goes down. Obviously, Boo Boo Doo Boo ensuring that kill does happen, and we are going to now hop on board with Shooter, who just got a nice little cleanup kill on Lunchbox. He's moving over, trying to make something happen. I know he's got a flank coming over here on this bubble spawn. He knows that his teammates are already shooting on him. He's pushing in. He's trying to make something happen.
Yeah, Shooter, the hero from the previous game. Again, the stats don't necessarily say it, but you can see he's just going to continue to try to bait and switch with his boy over down towards that car side. I'm wondering why Evil Geniuses even have so many players over towards the car side. Pink is completely open for these teams to try to make their way in there. Roy ends up coming back over towards the slide and getting a kill, big kill by him. Meanwhile, Shotzi and Falcated pick up a couple of kills as well. This one's all tied up here at 6, and again, pink control is going to be huge, so I'm really curious to see why Evil Geniuses was going all over towards the car side. Again, even sending 2 people car side at the beginning of the game, it worked out for them. But camo coming up here in a minute, you know Tawi's going to be barking to these guys, get over to that side of the map.
Yep, and it looks like the Inconceivable roster is actually the team that's closer to that right now. They have a decent pink 2 control. It looks like Boo Boo Doo Boo is pushing around that area and trying to make sure that he controls and waits for this camo, even though it is, you know, about 30-40 seconds away. And now it looks like Shotzi does have that sword, and they just have some really great teamwork. 11-8, not a big differential, but still something that to note.
Yeah, and this is a little bit scary because you look at the positioning coming out from Inconceivable, The positioning and the rotations are very clean. Shotzi confidently just jumping top center, getting the sword for free. No one's even looking for him. He hasn't even been shot really in the last 30 seconds. So where is Evil Geniuses? Where is the pink pressure going to come from? Where are they going to get? When are they going to get on top of the map here? They're just running around towards the bottom.
Yeah, and that, it's just, I mean, it's unfortunate, but it looks like Shotzi is just going to stay pink 2 while his teammate is waiting for that camouflage, and that will be Boo Boo Doo Boo once again, the guy who seemingly always has camo. I don't know if he spawns with it or what, but I swear every time we go to his screen, he's picking it up.
Maybe it's because he plays on the world's darkest settings, because that game, he needs to turn his brightness up. I don't know how he's even seen anybody on the map, but either way, you have Boo Boo Doo Boo here with camo and carbine, and this is a very dangerous combination. The carbine just completely melts, especially on these dedicated servers. Virtually can't fight back in these long-range battles, but instead he's going to go for the up-close range assault rifle strategy, only getting 1 kill for his efforts. Probably wanted a little bit more, but one of the good things is he got information on where all of Evil Geniuses is, and guess what? They're trapped underneath blue.
Yep, and let's take a second to check out Lunchbox. I know that we haven't given him much time right now. Putting in some good shots across the map with that carbine. This guy has obviously been a veteran. He's won numerous events over the course of the Halo history, and now trying to see if he can fare once again in Halo 5 with his twin brother and some 2 new young guns.
Yeah, but they're going to have to make their move here really soon. Maybe they can get both the players over towards the pink side and finally get some sort of momentum. That was an 8-kill lead that just got dwindled down to 6 now for Inconceivable. And pink control going on over, but no, has to reload. Good
Roy
thing for him, he
is
did
mad.
not die to both of those
But I got to
guys.
say, we know when the Brown brothers are together and someone dies, the other one is always pissed. So there might have been something going on there.
Yeah, Roy's always kind of got that look on his face like he says. But I can't blame him. I'm kind of the same way, always serious when I'm playing. But either way, that was a big kill there for Falcated, taking down Lunchbox. And it looks like we had a little bit of a crash. And that is a bummer.
It looks like we might have lost. I don't know if we lost.
Yeah, we lost. We lost everything up here, guys. We are gonna try to get that fixed. Seems like Xbox is froze up on the main stage. Something crashed. Not quite sure what it was, but we will get the information and rally that over to you as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean that was quite a game too. It looked like Inconceivable was really doing some work, but then EG was trying to make a comeback. Definitely unfortunate for that to happen. We haven't seen that happen yet this weekend. Not sure if it was a